Hello, everybody. I'm Tim, and welcome to Flipper Flicks, where we review movies mostly at random. We get a lot of repeats, and we don't have to wear pants because you can't see us.
I still wear mine though.
Me too.
It's just a comfort level thing. I'm Adam, by the way. I prefer to wear pants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just more comfortable.
Do I need to put some on? Is that what you're telling me?
No, you do you, man. Like you're like 1,000 miles from me, so I'm probably safe.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm alone, so.
Well, you got your dog.
Well, she's at the parents right now.
Okay. Well, we got our third member. I don't know if she's wearing pants, but
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I'm wearing pants
The
and I'm
suspense
Sam.
is killing me.
Sam is wearing pants. I'm actually in the room. I can see those.
You guys have a dress code for the podcast?
Yeah. It's business casual.
I actually got out of my one pair.
So is mine.
My one
You
pair
got a
of
new
pajamas.
pair out? Is that what you said?
No, I said I got out of my one pair of pajamas to put on a new pair of pajamas.
But
That's
these ones
usually
are
what
pants.
I do. Yeah, these include
Your
pants.
podcast pajamas.
Yeah.
I like it. All right.
All right. Well, we have a good show. Pants on or off, depending on the day, I guess.
And the person.
Yeah.
And the person. True.
Fair enough.
The last episode, we got pick 3, and
Pick
Adam
3.
chose the platform as Netflix. Tim chose the genre as horror.
Horror.
And then I picked a random number at 23, and we ended up with The Ring. Ooh. So this movie...
I can't do TV static noise, otherwise I would.
Ruin it.
Spoiler alert! Already.
Spoiler, yeah. Spoiler, yeah.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, we are discussing the movie from like 2002. Well, you heard us correctly. So let's get into it. The Rotten Tomatoes scores were 71 for critics, which is
Pretty high for a horror.
shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And the audience was 48. So that's pretty good. I mean,
One in
And
two
then-
people like it.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
per usual, IMDb is super high at 7.1 out of 10.
Usual. Normally IMDb is a lot lower.
Than Rotten Tomatoes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Google's
Google is
high.
high. Somebody's
Google's a high
high.
one. IMDb is typically harder ratings. I don't know why.
Little high, little low.
And then we don't even touch Metacritic.
I don't even know what that is.
I've never heard of that.
We're not qualified to do a podcast on movies.
Apparently not. Unprofessionals over here. So what's this movie about, Sam?
It is.
Tell me about it.
Oh, you guys want to know? Even though you already watched
me,
it?
tell
I'm
me.
confused.
Tell me, I've never heard of this.
Okay. It's about...
I did not just watch it.
Definitely not in the last 5 hours.
No.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who didn't watch it in the past 5 hours, it's about a reporter that watches a video that supposedly sets in motion the viewer's death in 7 days. Can she unravel the mystery before her own time is up?
Time's up, time's up, time's up.
Yeah.
At 5:13 p.m.
Yeah. It was like sunset or something. Okay, so we already
Yes,
said
it was.
spoilers alert.
Yeah, but seriously, spoilers.
Yeah,
People be dying up here.
that's true.
Big
People do be dying.
spoilers.
So I was actually excited for this movie. I'm going to go into our expectations because we kind of went from one child's nightmare to another because
Yeah.
Adam
Mm-hmm.
not hated, but had some scary dreams for little Nemo. And
I loved
remember,
Little Nemo. It just frightened me half to death as a
Except for,
child.
the last half of it.
Yeah, I would just turn it off with
See
like
the
20
demon
minutes
die.
in it.
Yeah.
With left,
Yeah.
whatever was left.
Okay.
And I avoided this one like the plague.
Well, I stuck it out for this one, and that is, in fact, why I had
Yeah, you
nightmares
were how
as
old?
a child. I was 9.
Yeah, she was 9 when this came out.
And
I don't recommend it for
Dang.
9-year-olds.
and scared AF of this movie. And
Yeah.
we can get into it more in a bit, but let's see what your expectations were. Tim, what were your expectations going
I was
into it?
pumped. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I just remember I liked it, and I remember little bits of it. So I was ready to watch this.
It's been like
I was good to
18
go.
years
Gearing up. Yeah.
about a person becoming an adult.
It's just it's hard to find a good horror movie. Like, I love horror movies in general, even
Mm.
if they're terrible. I love watching them. But when you find one like this, it's just so good.
Okay.
It's like Paranormal Activity, the first one. was
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
That one was
So-
great. Sam,
Yeah.
Sam couldn't sleep well for 30 days after that one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, funny story. We're gonna go on tangent for a second.
Oh, yeah.
And if my buddy from college ever hears this, sorry.
Hey, man, how's it going? Shout out.
So, you guys remember, like, it was out in theaters or whatever, or like limited theaters,
Yes.
and then by popular demand,
It expanded.
you had to like message, like, huh?
It expanded out, right?
Yeah, you had to like message them, or there was some kind of message process you had to do to get it elsewhere,
Oh.
and so they eventually released it to a lot more theaters. Well, all of us were in the dorm, and we were like, we want to see this movie. I have no idea why. I don't remember who heard of it or what. So at the end of the movie, you could see in the credits the names of all the people that had put in for it, and our names were on there.
What?
Yeah, legit, our names are on there.
Tim's famous.
And that was pretty cool. But no, I just remember the theater was packed and like it was crazy. And then we went back to the house. Yeah, I guess we were in a house at that point. And my one buddy, because we both lived up in the loft, but it was like separated, he didn't want to sleep by himself. So he came into my room and I had my bed and a futon, and he laid at the futon at the bottom of it for at least one night.
That's great.
Yeah.
I was like, that's respectful. I get it. That movie freaked us out.
That was our first Halloween together. Sam and I went
so good
to the Milford Cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam got so spooked because demons and stuff. We watched Space Jam.
Yeah.
Didn't fix it. Because sometimes I like to, like with horror films, I'll just like even it out with a quick kids movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people do that.
Even
Like,
it out with Lil
cartoons
Nemo.
are great for it, or a comedy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that didn't fix Sam.
No.
No.
No, I was
No.
scared
No,
for
that
a
one was a
while.
good one. Yeah.
But The
No, I agree.
Ring.
Yeah, what were you
But
gonna
anyway, so I was excited for The Ring. Yeah. What about you, Adam?
So my sister is a couple years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw it when it first came out and was real spooked by it. And I was like, first off, I hated horror films. I don't enjoy being scared. I don't want to be
Right.
scared. So like
Right.
I don't go to like haunted houses and stuff around Halloween. I know it's part of the Halloween experience. Getting chased by a guy in a mask. It's not what I do to have fun. Anywho, the horror
Right.
films are not my thing.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't really say this was scary. As a movie that is 18 years old, I don't find it that scary. Now,
Right.
Rings, which came out in 2017, I probably would shit my pants in.
I don't know what that is.
There's Ring, there's
The second one?
The Ring, and then there's The Ring 2. And then they made a third one in 2017. New director, but yeah. So I'd probably not do well in that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always heard the second one wasn't that good. I don't know that I watched it though.
I didn't watch it. Fun fact.
It's hard to make a sequel of a movie like this. I just don't usually, because just like Paranormal Activity, they made a bunch of sequels.
I mean,
and
like
they weren't that great.
7.
They were okay. There was like the second one wasn't good. The third one was not bad. Like I liked the third one, but it was like for this movie, I don't know that I've seen the sequels or anything, so I don't know.
So Naomi Watts, the main Rachel and Aiden.
Yep.
The two main characters are still in the film.
Or in the second one.
Okay.
But are they in the
They're not in the third one.
It looks like Rings, the one that came out in 2017, is just like a reboot of it.
But they didn't because they talk about the events that happened in 2002.
Okay.
Right, but it could still be like a reboot.
It's a reboot. Reboot's the right word. You never mind.
Whereas
Sorry.
The Ring 2 looked like it was a continuation of the story, which is kind of, as Tim was saying, awkward. But you do bring up a good point, because I wanted to say, like, as an adult, like, I still find this a little spooky, mostly because that kid, Aiden, is creepy AF.
Oh my god!
Like,
I
hated
wrote
him
multiple
the entire
times.
Like,
Multiple times I wrote down this kid is creepy.
yeah, like he still stands the test of time for sure.
Yeah, I just hated
Like
him
the
the whole
fuck?
time.
Nah, he's got some creepy eyes.
Like,
and
well,
voice
is he?
He also looked like an adult in a child's body, like
Yeah.
weird looking.
Yeah, I hated him.
He acted weird, like he was like way too mature. I don't know.
He's just drawing dead corpses as a 8-year-old.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Mhm.
Now, I will say his art consistency was pretty solid
Yeah,
for his age.
Yeah.
Like all of the dead cousins that he drew,
Mhm.
they all looked the same. You know, like at that age, you would expect some variance, and
Right. Yeah.
we're art critics now too.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when he saw the ring, he's just going nuts with what looks like
Right.
charcoal.
Yeah.
and just drawing big circles.
Yeah, it's funny that you're making fun of that scene because that was the scene that made me freak out as fuck as a child.
Oh, I thought it was just silly.
No, but I was gonna say, rewatching it this time, like, that was one of the parts that didn't hold up. You're like, okay, he's drawing circles in the well, like, cool. Not quite as creepy. But I will say, I do want to get into some of the things that, like, are obviously 18 years old, like VHS tapes.
Oh, yes!
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm almost interested in seeing Rings because I want to see if they, like, segued away from VHSs.
They switched over to chainmail.
Yo, guys, it's a USB.
Dun, dun, dun.
Look, I got the USB stick, the cursed USB stick.
So there were only 7 people that watched the video in this movie. And I'm sitting here like, imagine if this was like somehow got on a Netflix.
Yeah.
So many people be dead.
Oh,
all of them. Because we all have cell phones and actually nobody would pick it up because nobody picks up unknown numbers.
That is true.
True.
And like, but clearly Noah died even though we didn't hear the message.
Yeah, so you don't need to pick it up. But you're right. People would avoid the phone call. So a lot of people would die without knowing why they're dying.
Yeah.
It just, the video itself just looked like some shitty indie horror flick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, that's what he even says.
I know. I was like
a college project or whatever.
I wrote down, Noah's making some sense here.
Yeah.
I also thought he looked a lot younger than Rachel did.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, I don't know. She's clearly not that old in this movie. Like,
right. I mean, they're supposed to be like newer age parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and I thought he was just a friend at first because he like creepily stared at Aiden.
Yeah.
When they first saw each other, and I was like, that guy's gonna abduct that child. Because first off, like you guys were saying, this kid is like mature. He's walking himself to school.
Yeah.
Right. Alright, I'm going to school.
I'm going to school. Oh,
what?
That's fine. No big deal. So that's my beef.
Okay.
You don't. I don't know.
That's fair.
Might be our new age thinking. The millennials. I'm just kidding.
The world is just so crazy now.
The world's so crazy.
Can't walk to school.
Yeah. So we
for fear of running into Noah, just creepily staring at him.
Yeah, but like, did he? I'm wondering if Aiden knew who Noah was, because like later it seemed like he did.
Yeah.
Well, he mentions that she told Aiden about Noah.
Okay.
Because he's in the car and he's laying down, and they're like awkwardly talking. He's like, "Don't worry, she told me."
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think at one point I wrote down I made Sam rewind it because I was like, did she just say our child?
Yeah,
or my
when he
child?
watches the tape. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a twist.
Yeah.
Because
this movie was good about doing, but yeah.
Just thought it was funny because I don't know. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think what helped out this movie a lot was the acting was actually really good.
Yeah.
I thought like from the start, like it just felt good. Like even the beginning where a lot of movies like
where they show
awkward.
They show the characters that are not actually like in the movie. They're just like
like the first girl that dies, or whatever. Like
Katie?
Those two bantering around like kicks it off really strong. I thought because it was believable that they're in there just chilling. I don't know, whatever. Like they didn't seem awkward, but like the scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could act. Yeah. I guess is all I'm saying. They're good at acting, and then like a lot of the misdirects they had in the movie were really well done. Even from the start, every little thing you're like, oh gosh, there's gonna be something there, and there's not.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, something's off, something weird's gonna happen, and it doesn't. But then it does.
Yeah.
And you're like, crap.
I want to say one.
I think it just, huh?
Go ahead. You finish.
That's pretty much what I had. I was gonna say that, and the cuts they did, the way they did them, the timing they had was really good.
Yeah.
I want to say that one thing that threw me off at the beginning was they were in their school uniforms at night. Like, Sam, you went to a private school that had a uniform.
Mm-hmm.
How fast did you change out of that uniform when you got home?
It depended. When I was in high school, which I assume they were in high school.
They were in high school.
I usually changed out pretty quickly, but when I was in grade school, we would.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it was a little odd that they were still in their school uniform. But that's because this movie is is a remake of Ringu from Japan. And the reason why they kept them in their school outfits is because it was like kind of a throwback to Oh, because they were supposed to be more of like the Japanese school uniforms.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's random facts that I got.
Yeah, now I need to see Ringo.
Yeah. Originally, the movie was going to keep the name Ringo.
Oh.
Because Paramount bought the American rights to the film for $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in regards to the beginning, I really loved it because it has that classic horror movie setup. You know, like you have the two friends in the house, and like you can tell, like you were saying, Tim, like something's off, like in Scream and Halloween, and it's just I feel like horror movies are so different now. Like if you have that setup, it feels more cheesy now.
Yeah.
Whereas then, like, pretty much every horror movie seemed like it started with a couple of kids in a house. And, like, it makes me be like, oh, man, that was the golden age for horror.
And I really want to point out that the very first line of the film was, "I hate television. It gives me headaches," by the girl that gets her face just disfigured.
Yeah.
Which apparently the way the director described it was that when they would have that facial stuff, basically Samara, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
She would force all of the images from the video to like rapidly go on in their head or something and just make it.
Ow.
Yeah. So it gives me headaches. It was kind of a foreshadow.
Aww.
Yeah.
That her head going to go crazy.
And that's funny too because later on they're like, "Oh yeah, her heart just stopped."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're telling me that your skin turned gray, your eyes turned yellow, and your jaw just like elongated. That's because your heart stopped. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that first girl, she a hoe.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear Becca say, "You a hoe"?
Mm.
She's taking English lessons from us.
He throws a pillow at her.
Oh.
You a hoe. I was like,
classic.
Nice. Good job, Becca.
Can't say that shit anymore. Well, and the other thing that I was going to say was that I don't fucking know. I had something. Damn it. Okay.
Okay, I'll say something. I will still say something.
Oh, no. It came back. Sorry.
Okay, there we go.
Bobby.
I wonder, so this goes back to your comment about TV and headaches, right? I wonder if part of this movie, or at least the Japan version, was like trying to get people to stop watching TV as much. Do you kind of get that? Because like the whole premise of it is like the TV will kill you basically. And then especially like when, what was her name? Sarah?
Which one?
Sarah. The reporter.
Rachel?
Rachel.
Rachel.
Basic
was there a Sarah in this movie? Okay. Anyway.
Maybe the
that's
sister?
Weird. Yeah, there was a Sarah.
Okay.
Her name was Rachel because Aiden calls her Rachel and that bothered
That was
me.
weird as fuck, yeah. Okay, but anyway.
Yeah, creepy kid, again.
He's being creepy.
I hated him.
Yep.
But Rachel goes out on her balcony and they make it like really apparent that she's like watching people watch TV, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious if like Lols had obviously failed at getting people to stop watching TV because I feel like now we watch way more TV than we did in 2002, but I just did wonder if that was part of like the whole shebang of it.
Like a side message or a subliminal message or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That could be.
Now, I just want to comment. That house, it's really... So we live in Florida, and none of the houses I've been to in probably the last 3 years, or anywhere I've been to, look like that. It reminds me of the suburbia of Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think just houses in Florida are built differently. Most of them are ranches.
Yeah.
And if they are ranches, they're like beach style or Spanish style. Like they don't look like your typical Midwest.
So and this was out west. This is in Seattle.
Oh, I was gonna ask where we were.
It said
located.
It said it about 30 times because she's like, "Yeah, I work for the Seattle paper."
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, and like 10 things said Seattle on it. I even wrote it's in Seattle because I was like, she's gonna be like, where was this again?
Well, I think what confused me is they went to what was that? Whatever Mountain Inn or whatever that was. Like, was that
Shelter
still?
Mountain Inn? Yeah, that's still Washington.
And then the lighthouse was still Washington.
Yes,
okay.
But the whole movie was actually recorded in Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Still
close
Pacific
enough.
Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I want to say that they had such a fancy house, right? With that fridge that looked like a cabinet, even.
Sure.
They didn't have a dishwasher.
Ah.
If I had that much money to make a house that looks like that, especially in Seattle,
They had to have one somewhere.
it wasn't under the sink. I looked for it.
Was there an island? Maybe it was an island.
Maybe, but
maybe Samara
Say,
took it.
but yeah.
Samara's like,
That's where all the water
dishwasher.
comes from. Yeah.
I thought that was odd.
Because there are ones that look like drawers that you can get.
Oh, that's true. I mean, they had the fridge that looked like a doorstep.
Right. So
it was just hidden.
Now the sister, I will say they nailed the casting on the sister, because I would believe that Naomi Watts' sister was that woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
love how it's just Naomi Watson and that woman.
I did not look that lady's name up.
Yeah,
I know. I only got 4 people's names this time.
All right. Well, and the other thing, so talking about going back to how old this movie was, do you remember the good old days when people used to process their photos? Like she found that clip for like instant photos, and then she goes and picks them up from like CVS or whatever, and I'm like, man, that's shit people don't do anymore that I'm aware of. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and the people that process film, they process their own film. They have a red room.
Right.
Red light room, whatever it's called.
Well, I think you can still people still go and take like a USB drive and print out photos at Walgreens, but you don't like sit there and develop film.
You're not like
right.
Come back
unless it's a hobby or something anymore.
And that's what I'm saying. If it's a hobby, a lot of those people would have their own room.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all their disfigured faces, it was foreshadowed that their face is going to get messed up.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's weird though. Is like not everybody died that way, which I thought was odd.
Yeah. That was like
the boyfriend,
confusing.
The boyfriend should have died the same way
that
she died, not like falling off or jumping somewhere, which I guess could have been like, if you think about it later on, it's because the mom jumps off the cliff and kills herself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could have been, Samara wanted him to die in some sort of way like that. I don't know, but I thought all the people that died should have died in a very similar way.
Yeah, and like the high school kids that were just talking to them. Hey, Adam Brody is one of them. What?
Yeah, he shows up for like 2 lines.
Yeah.
Was he trying? Who was he trying? Who would he have? Who would he have been trying out for?
The movie.
Was this pre-OC time?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
If anything, it's post-OC.
It wouldn't be. I don't know. Sam and her soap operas, teenage soap operas.
Gotcha.
Anyway, they were just like chatting. They're like, "Oh yeah, no big deal. Our best friend just died. It's cool."
Yeah, and
Let me just smoke my cigarette. I'm so edgy.
And they clearly didn't want to like talk to her, right?
I know,
because they were like not willing to say anything. Which is, I mean, that still happens today.
But then the Adam Brody dude, he's like, he looks shook.
Shook it.
Right, yeah, like, he does. Like he knows what's
properly shook.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just like, they just died.
Yeah, that's true. But that happens in like the horror movies of back in the day. Like people are concerned, and then people are just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought it would have been cool if so it was the 4 friends that were up in the cabin in the woods that all died. I thought it would have been kind of an interesting like little plot line if they had like a 5th friend who didn't watch the movie, like she was in the bathroom or something or showering.
Oh.
And then they all got the phone call and freaking out, and then she's like, "What?" And then Rachel would have
been kind of cool.
Yeah, Rachel could have found her and been like, "What the hell's going on?"
Well, on part of that though, that you say that, but that one girl lives in the beginning.
Becca,
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. She saw it happen though.
Ward, so that's kind of the same situation.
It is. So. It is.
I guess that would have been redundant for her to go talk to another person when that chick,
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird about that chick because she was like, "Oh, you're dead in 4 days." It's like, what? How do you know anything?
So, due to this being a remake from Japan, it's actually what Samara is she's based off a Japanese mythical Onryo? Ryo? Okay. I don't know. It's like it's a ghost that manifests after dying in the grip of a powerful rage.
Oh.
And they have like these special psychic powers that can kind of take over one's mind to just say little lines like, "You're gonna die in 4 days."
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Thanks for sufficiently making this scary once again. Because I was
You're
totally
welcome.
like, oh yeah, this isn't scary anymore. I'm an adult. Ha! And now you just went through that, and I'm like, great. Cool. Thank you for that.
It's Japanese myth.
Yeah, but myths are in reality. Well, anywho, talking about the cabin. So she developed the photos, right? And on the photo, they're all lined up with their wonky faces, with number 12 on the cabin right behind them. And then she goes to the Shelter Mountain Inn and asks the guy, like, oh, what cabin were they in? And I was like, really? Then she even holds up the photo to be like, is this the right one? Like 1212? Like, come on. Come on.
They could have been in front of another cabin. Also, they didn't pay for the cabin.
Do not accept these answers.
And she just slaps that Amex.
I think.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure that they didn't pay for the cabin, or if they didn't pay for the tape that they rented.
Oh.
Because at first it seems like that's what he talked about. I was like, but there's no way that they didn't pay to stay in the cabin. He was not going to give them a key to get in the cabin.
Yeah,
right.
No.
So I was like, it has to be the movie he's talking about. And then it leads to like her putting the thing in her bag and like him almost catching her doing it. Like I thought that.
Yeah. Well, here's a little interesting tidbit of knowledge. I was like, man, I kind of hope I feel like this poor little Shelter Mountain Inn guy, his whole business is going to go down because they found a dead corpse in one of the houses.
Yeah.
Right? So he has a bit more to worry about. Apparently in the deleted scenes, he watches the film and dies.
Oh no.
So, yay.
Well, I was wondering about that because the film had to get there at some point, right? And so I feel like as the owner, like you'd be curious about this unmarked VHS. You'd be like, where did this come from? Yada yada.
Nope.
So
don't care.
Yeah.
I don't have time to pay attention to what VHSs are over there.
Right? But yeah, and then we what do you guys think of what was his name? Richard Morgan.
Who was that?
Samara's dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dad.
He went from like, oh, he's gonna murder her. Oh, he's not. Oh, he's gonna murder her. I couldn't keep up with what he was gonna do to Rachel.
Yeah, he has a creepy vibe from the beginning for sure.
Yeah. That scene was kind of overkill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He set up a lot there.
That's what I said.
Just making sure.
I was like, damn, that's a lot of electronics for that bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, holy
I
crap,
kind of figured he would just jump the ledge like his wife did. I also thought that this was gonna have like, I don't know. I thought they were gonna be way older. Like the parents, I thought this was like generations old shenanigans that happened. But no, they were. It was like, it was like 30 years ago.
Everything starts somewhere.
No, that's true.
But yeah, it's kind of weird because it seemed like everybody on the island kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, well, I
mean, they were obviously keeping it a secret that this child was dropped in a well.
If somebody gets a cold on the island, everybody gets a cold.
Yeah. Well, they just keep each other's secrets. But wait, so Shelter Mountain Inn is...
Yeah, we're going there, right?
Well, yeah, sure, if it exists.
Oh, fun little story before... I'm going to pause you.
Okay.
The lighthouse exists, and Tim is going to want to go there instantly.
Why?
It's haunted.
Let's go!
Yeah, so once in like a year or so, we'll go to the Pacific Northwest. We'll go to this island and go into this lighthouse, and I'll be like, cool. And Tim will be like, I got my ghost radar out. I'm going to find one.
Go find Samara, Tim.
Guys, bad news. Her name's Samara.
This is awkward. I'm going to leave.
This is weird.
I am straight up not having a good time.
The movie?
Yeah, sorry, Sam. You were talking about Shelter Mountain Inn.
Well, I was going to say, okay, so obviously this is clustered together, but that seems like a lot of effort because they live near the lighthouse, right? Because their horses drown in the water on the beach.
Yeah.
So then where is Shelter Mountain Inn? Like, that seems like, why didn't you just chuck Samara off the cliff into the sea or something? Like, wouldn't that have been easier than finding this random-ass well and who knows where?
It almost seemed like to me it was part of their property at one point.
Yeah.
And then they dunked her and they were like, all right, sell the property quick before anybody knows. And then they like, all right, build a cabin on that property. Why? Trust me, you'll get a lot of people coming over here. The lighthouse is haunted. Build cabins and sell tickets. I don't know.
I feel like the lighthouse is separate though, because the lighthouse is on the island and Shelter
Right,
Mountain
it is.
Inn.
It's like
Shelter Mountain Inn
saying,
is
like,
definitely not.
so you
Yeah.
just go see the lighthouse. They're staying in the cabin. I don't know.
Part of it has to do with the tree. That
Yeah.
tree that was
Yeah.
all like deathy and whatnot.
Yeah.
That tree has a certain fruit that blooms from it called a samara.
I feel like. Did you get
Really?
this from the Japanese version?
Yeah.
I feel like they explained it a lot better in that version. Like, maybe we need to go watch Ringu, because this did not. This took a lot of the good parts from it, which is a plus.
Mhm.
But it also took out a lot of the parts that explain it. So maybe the Ring 2 goes through those?
No, probably not.
Though.
Now,
No,
how
I
old
don't
do you think
so.
Ringu is? Like, how long ago do you think it was made?
Probably
The 90s.
quite old.
97.
Oh, so this was 5 years
Is that
later?
Yeah.
10 years? Or I'm sorry, not 2007.
5 years later, yeah, we made the American version.
Oh, that's not bad.
But yeah,
I
apparently,
think the American version was made purely to be horror, whereas the maybe Japanese version obviously was part of their myth already, so there was
Yeah.
a little bit more explained naturally than
Oh,
They-
that's
yeah, like,
true.
they don't
to
have-
understand.
yeah, they don't have to explain, oh, that's that type of evil villain, mythological creature. Oh, yeah, then she has that psychic power, clearly. Which,
Yeah.
have you guys seen, Sam, I know I've seen A Cabin in the Woods. Tim, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, in Cabin in the Woods, that's the same little creature that the little Japanese kids defeat. Oh.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, don't you remember long hair? Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
That's not a note, that's just all up in
Well,
the noggin.
And that's funny because I watched that again recently just for the heck of it.
I like that
And,
movie, it's fun.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot for what it was. And I was like, oh, that's the thing from The Ring. That's the girl from The Ring,
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess it was technically.
Yeah, it was the same
It
mythological
wasn't
creature.
100%, yeah.
Now, what they need to do is make that a TV series so that we can see more of the monsters, like a prequel.
Yeah.
Our podcast should just be called "We Want You to Make These Movies into Series." 'Cause that's what
Yes, Adam really wants all the TV series.
Wait, but I just want to make my little beef point here. Who built a cabin over a well?
Somebody who
Yeah.
wants easy access to water. I don't know.
No.
No,
Like,
they weren't using it for water.
like, how does
Clearly.
that happen?
Did you guys notice that all our fingernails were off?
Oh, that was disgusting.
Yeah, do you know why?
Because she tried to claw it up then?
No, yeah, because she
Yeah,
lost
they
all her
explained
fingernails.
that when she's
Yeah.
in the well.
Yeah, but every scene with her has no fingernails.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice detail, but ew.
Yeah, and when she when Rachel gets knocked in,
Mhm.
there's a quick flash of
Yeah.
her face on the TV.
Rachel's face?
No.
Smart.
Samara's face.
Mars.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could see that.
They did a lot of flashes like that, like
Yeah.
the ring
Yup.
after the horse gets chopped up and stuff. Like they did a lot of those. which I
There's
thought
so
was
many
good.
circles if you try and watch for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're paying attention to it.
Well, and that was part of the parts that scared me as a kid, right? So if you jump to the ending, when they clearly make it seem like, oh, you basically watched it, so you're gonna die next week. Like, you can clearly tell, like, even without paying attention, you pick up on some of the little, like, rings and stuff throughout. So I thought it was nice that they, like, wove that through the story because, like, you can see it as an adult, though it's not scary now because it's so old. But as a kid, like, damn, that was scary as fuck.
Right?
Did you guys like how Noah went up? Well, before I get to the medical records scene,
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
she answers the phone, just starts yelling, screaming like a banshee.
Yes.
And he just like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, no concern? She's just screaming at
Well,
the
yeah,
phone?
she says, leave him alone! And he's just like,
Yeah.
hey.
Hey, how's it going? I'm headed over to your place right now. What?
Yeah.
Well, he knows she's not in the best mindset.
I know,
but
I
yeah, he could have showed a little bit more concern, especially considering
Right.
they have a kid together. But
Right?
whatever.
Yeah.
But I was going to talk about how he goes into that, when they go to the record room,
Mm-hmm.
he just like walks in and he's like, yep, I need to see this file. I'm like, that's not going to work. Oh, and then it doesn't work. And I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then when he's like looking through the records, when he goes down there, there's a little goof that I caught and I rolled back and made Sam watch. You see one of the crew in the picture?
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a nice blue button down. You just see his like shoulder. Like, ha, gotcha.
Yeah, because Adam's like, is there a guy standing next to him? And I'm like, no. And then we like rolled it back and we were like, oh, there was in real life.
Found the Starbucks cup.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
It was a different like color. Everything's like this dark, gloomy color, and then there's this nice blue button-down shirt.
Yeah, but it was only for a split second.
It was probably 2 seconds max.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, I thought that was funny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when she goes over to his house, Rachel goes over to Richard Morgan's house the second time. Knock on the door. You know what? I'm gonna just go in.
Yeah.
Right.
Just casual breaking and entering.
That's what they do in scary movies. Movies in general.
Just movies. They just walk into people's houses.
Yeah, like, and then to sit there and just watch something.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, are you serious right now? Like, you just... And then he comes just rushing in for fun.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know that she's there even. Or he does?
He must have heard her because he creeps up behind her.
Well, no, I'm talking about Noah.
He comes to the house?
Yeah, he finds her at the house. I'm like, did you...
Yeah.
There just happened to be a fairy right on time for you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry. Hopefully there were no horses on that ferry.
Yeah.
It was a sad scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
Sadness.
All the red. And did you notice how many onlookers there were? Everybody was like, oh, we went over.
Yeah, I mean...
Well...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's realistic and that would happen. But I thought that... I don't know. It adds to the scene being that much harder because you're like, cool, guys. Like...
You see the ring in its eye, too. Like...
Yeah.
Apparently Samara hated horses. Dick.
Well, yeah. That was part of it.
Yeah.
I know.
She was stuck up with the horses in the barn and they kept her up at night.
Oh, right. I forgot. That makes more sense. I was like, I thought they put her in the barn after the horse incident, not before.
No. She caused
They
it.
just hated this daughter from the get-go.
Yeah.
Which, so they adopted her, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got from it? Or did they do some satanic ritual to have some demon baby?
I mean, that's very possible as well. She had, 66 miscarriages?
Was it 66?
Yeah, and then they, went away for, a vacation or something, and they were like, yeah, they just came back. They had to have adopted her because it's not like she'd suddenly be pregnant.
How quick can you have a miscarriage? I'm just thinking literal time here. If it's 66, can you have 4 in a year?
That's so many.
I don't know.
I mean, I think you can, because now I don't know anything about the process as far as...
Yeah, I know.
I
don't know.
At a certain point, it has to be, so far along.
Yeah, to be
But it
officially a
can be
miscarriage.
very early on.
Yeah.
Well,
So technically a miscarriage can be, a couple weeks, I think. I'm not even sure.
hit us up on Instagram and Twitter.
Please don't.
Don't actually.
Don't do that.
No.
But...
Okay, direct message Tim.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
no. I just... 66, man. They couldn't have just been she had 20. 20 would have done the job. Or 15. Or
Why so many?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just to make sure that you knew.
It does kind of play into the whole Japanese thing, though, because... not the miscarriage part, but the part where they went somewhere and nobody knew where, and they came back with a child.
Yeah.
And the child happened to be this whatever spirit thing.
Yeah.
So, real quick, back to the 66 number. Suppose she has one once every 3 months.
Okay.
It would have they would have had miscarriages every 3 months for 16 years. 16 and a half.
Holy crap.
That's a long
So, depending on when she starts trying to have kids, assume 20.
I mean, I was just gonna say they're kind of older, right? So
yeah.
they could be from the generation that got married at 18 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say 18. We'll cut it in the middle. 18, so that's 34 years old.
Yeah.
Was when she stopped having them. They had Samara. No, I mean that seems like a normal age. That's
I
not.
don't know. She looked old when she chucked
She
her
did.
in the
I know.
well.
That's why I was thinking. I was like,
That's just crazy. Another one. All right, try again. Oh,
Yeah.
another one.
Dead baby
That's gotta be
cannon.
exhausting. I mean, that's...
And mentally, it would mentally destroy you.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
You'd get the scramblies.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
And then you adopt Demon Baby. What are the odds?
Yeah. And then you try to kill some demon baby.
Clearly they were not meant to have a child.
Yeah.
Right.
After the first 10, would you just I would be like, let's not put you through this anymore, dear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Maybe after the first, probably less. 10 is a lot.
Yeah. Well, am I just dumb? Like, why does she kill her? Just because she's like creepy?
No, because she's already like crazy demon baby, right? And she's been putting images. She already has the psychic powers. She's putting shit in her head, in the wife's head.
Okay, because I was like, I'm just saying, you go through 66 miscarriages, you finally have your child, like...
You put a bag over her head and push her down a well.
Yeah, that's insane.
But
Yeah.
The husband is like, well, we had to put her out in the barn because she was, every time my wife was around her, she went crazy. Because she kept seeing hallucinations. So, yeah. 66 miscarriages plus 1 demon baby equals ghost.
I'm actually shocked that the husband didn't kill himself sooner.
Yeah, right?
Now that we're going through all of this. Like, it's not like he's had an easy life.
No. Not one bit.
Oh my gosh.
Now, when everybody's watching the movies, I'm going to change topics.
Yes, please do. This
is
as dark as this podcast has ever gotten.
I know. Let's lighten it up with how close do you watch the TV? Like, how far away do you sit from it?
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Because they were just all, like, a foot away, like, oh my god.
Yes.
And, like, there's a scene when Noah watches the film, like, he puts it in and then he just sits down. I'm like, there's a chair right next to you. She puts it in the cabin. The couch, she's like, sits up to the couch. I don't know. Everybody sits like all up in the TV's business.
I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to write it down when she sat down in the newsroom, but I didn't because the chair was actually that close in the newsroom. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe...
That's like working on a computer.
Yeah, I was like, well, maybe all the furniture was like that all along.
Nope.
But apparently not, so I'm glad I'm not crazy.
No, they all were like, I need this embedded into my eyes.
Well, yeah, that's part of the non-TV narrative I was talking about.
Yeah.
If y'all could just watch it back at your couch, we wouldn't have to have a whole movie about why you shouldn't watch TV.
That's what Sam got out of this.
Yes.
Also, if you have a few miscarriages, you might want to stop. You might get a Japanese demon baby. Just saying. Don't push it down a well.
Yeah, that might be bad.
And then her poor
Especially if it's giving you weird images.
And when she goes to the library, the librarian just keeps dropping books. Or, like, she doesn't have any of them open. She has, like, 8 or 10 books. Grabs the first one, finds the lighthouse instantly. I'm like...
Well, I kind of explained that away because they put the spines toward her. And so that one was Lighthouses of America, where the other ones, she could have just told him a keyword of lighthouses, and it could have been, like, lighthouses
in
the world.
But how many lighthouses do you think there are? Like,
oh, no, it was a huge book, and it is crazy that she doesn't have to sit there for longer to find it. And, that's true.
Right.
And if she was set on the Northeast, I'd actually believe it more. Like, because, like, Maine, for instance, has, like, 1 million lighthouses. That's not true. They do have a lot, though.
Yeah, well, maybe that's part of it. Maybe she started close to her.
Maybe she went and was like, okay, Pacific Northwest. Check.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this movie was... What was that?
A yawn?
Oh, okay.
I chose to talk while yawning.
Okay. So the movie originally, the first script of it, they had it set in like Massachusetts and Maine.
Okay.
Rather than the Pacific Northwest. I don't know why they switched, but they did.
Well, they thought that Stephen King had overdone Maine. I'm just kidding.
Speaking of Stephen King, it took 15 years from 2002. This broke the horror film box office record.
Since The Shining?
Since The Shining.
Wow.
Or I don't know if there was much between it.
That's true.
It took 15 more years for Stephen King's It to break it.
Nice.
So it has the
remake of it.
Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah.
15 years later, because the other one's in the 80s.
Yeah.
So Stephen King eventually took back his title.
He's like, I'm not going to let the ring keep it.
It's mine! He's just sitting there with the trophy, stroking it, saying, my precious.
I believe it.
Up in Bangor, Maine. But yeah. Anybody else notice that cabin had an axe in it?
Yes!
She just, Noah just finds an axe. I'm like,
well, maybe it had a fireplace, and they used it to chop wood.
He had to break the glass to open it. It was a fire axe.
He did have to.
Normally you see a fire extinguisher, not a straight up axe.
Yeah, but I feel like I've seen an axe in movies, too.
When it's needed.
Yes. You're right. I get what you're saying now. I mean, I did think that it was awkward, but I, again, tried to explain it away because I was like, yeah, they're in a cabin. There's more uses for an axe in a cabin than my house.
Yeah, the only reason I noticed it was because I was like, he had to break the glass to do it. Because I was like, it wouldn't be that abnormal if he had to, there was an axe to go chop wood.
Right.
Now, once they get through it, what did I have here? Oh, she falls down the well because all these crazy scenarios knock her in. How cold do you think that water was?
Oh, very cold.
She didn't look like she was cold or anything. She looked room temperature or warm.
She was cold.
She was cold?
Yep. And I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to tell you why I
missed it, apparently.
She was cold.
I just was thinking, I was like, that well.
She could have shivered. Or had some blue lips on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I was like, I don't know what made me think, oh, I wonder how cold that water is.
I mean, it's got to be pretty cold. It's a good observation.
I'm like, it's in the middle of Seattle. It rains every day there.
Yeah, and we don't...
It's a cold rain, too. It's not like a Florida rain.
And it's not like she was walking around in shorts and t-shirts. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm just seeing crazy stuff. Right. What was that?
It's the trash can guy.
Oh. Scared the shit out of me.
Adam thinks that Samara's going to come get him during this podcast.
I thought our neighbor, banged on the wall. I was like, I'm not shutting up.
They got that axe out.
But yeah.
That fire axe.
Did anybody else notice how nosy every single person was about the tape? Oh, my assistant's here. Oh, what you watching? Can I watch? No, don't watch it. Watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so what are we watching here? This is state-of-the-art system. I'm so excited to watch with you. You can't watch this.
Well, I'm going to be devil's advocate and say that if somebody was okay, in the case of the assistant,
I can see the assistant,
what they do, so it wouldn't be odd for her to watch what they would normally be working on. Same with that lady where she shows her the equipment to stretch it. She probably does try to stand there and help people use the equipment.
I just thought they just all looked so offended.
Yeah, they did look offended.
They're like,
well, I think it's mostly because she doesn't say it in a way that would be normal, oh, I'd prefer to have my privacy or something like that. She's basically just no, you can't watch it.
Yeah, you just can't watch it.
Yeah.
So, one last thing. Before I get into the cast, what do you think of the music?
I don't think I noticed it.
Because it was done really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it fit the mood.
Yeah.
I can't really think about it too much because it's just when you think about it, you think about the scenes and stuff. So I think it just fit well.
I sat down and I was like, this is pretty good music for this. It was Zimmer.
Oh. Okay.
It was Hans Zimmer.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I was like, this all makes sense.
Not surprised.
Yeah. So he's a great composer.
Nice.
Yeah.
But Tim, before I go into the cast, you got any other notes? Sam shook her head no to me earlier.
I did find it weird that Aiden was like, you helped her. You weren't supposed to help her.
That was my last note. Yes.
And that's what I liked about this movie a lot. That twist right there was really good and well timed with how she had made a copy and blah, 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 and she didn't die. And they really didn't show you why until the end of it. That's why she figured it out. Because she did it so early on without even thinking about it. She just did it.
Yeah.
But the fact that the kid was weird and he knew things that it seemed like other people would have known that were cursed from it, but for some reason they didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe she was sharing things with the little kid because she was like, "Look, I know you can't do what I want you to do. You're not gonna be able to figure it out. So I'm just gonna tell you stuff anyway, because she's gonna kill you in 7 days." But, you know.
So that's funny.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Funny you say this. We watched the Ring 2 trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
He straight up says she wants to be me. So she's probably been sharing information because she's trying to take over his body.
So maybe I might have seen it then, because that sounds familiar. Yeah. Besides the cool suites and stuff that everybody had, or the what is it, lofts?
Oh
yeah.
Those were awesome.
Yeah, can I just get one of those lofts?
Yeah.
Rent for like $3 million an hour.
Right.
Well, this was back in 2002.
$2 million, yeah.
Only $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little cheaper. But I still didn't understand. Like, I was just like, oh, Jesus. What were we supposed to do with the body? Like, chopping up a body doesn't really alter a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I was like, I don't know what you would do.
Well, they buried her, right?
Yeah, they buried her. So they put her from one coffin to a different coffin.
Well, yes, but at least...
Now she's only 6 feet under instead of 30 feet.
Yes, but people think that by burying in a coffin, like, you're laid to rest versus chucked into a well. But yes,
right.
I mean,
I know.
Clearly she's only 6 feet under now, so that's why it's easier for her to come back later.
I wasn't thinking spiritually. I'm thinking physical corpse.
Well, her corpse was already pretty gnarly, so...
It was pretty bruh.
Yeah, they probably could have just filled in the well because, again...
I think they should have just cemented that shit up.
Yeah.
They're clearly
Just
not
in
using
case.
it.
Yeah. Do you think they built the cabin back over the well, or do you think they figured out, like, oh, maybe we should leave this
I
in
don't
the
know.
yard?
The dude's dead.
They probably went and looked through all the rest of them and were like, we better inspect these.
Make sure
Find
they're
7
up to
other
code.
wells.
Yeah, did some serial killer have like a field day and then sell off the land, or like maybe we need to check this out?
Yeah.
Yeah, when Noah and Rachel get back up to the mountain resort, whatever it's called, Shelter Mountain, it apparently says closed until further notice.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Probably
they
'cause
hint
the
that.
guy was dead in the deleted scenes.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because she watched it before him, or maybe he watched it.
He may have seen it before.
Yeah, because there was like that time between the kids watching it and her watching it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyways, I thought that was kind of a nice little notice. They got 30 kids, not 30, at least 12 cabins filled with wells of dead children.
Potentially.
They all have their own movie.
Yeah. The Grudge is the next one.
Yeah, speaking of which, I mix up The Grudge and this one.
I do as well.
It's very similar.
Because they came out around the same time.
They did.
And they both have, like, creepy little girls.
Yeah, so The Grudge is the one where the hand comes in the shower and touches them, right?
And it makes a sound.
Yeah.
Okay. I do remember why the director said he moved to Seattle. It was because it's a wet and foggy climate.
That's fair.
Yeah. So all the fog was more believable.
Yeah.
I was like, interesting.
That's actually,
that's a good reason to move.
Wow.
You're
Because
gonna.
I feel like most people just put it in Ohio and they're like, yeah, there's fog all the time in Ohio. When in reality,
there's a reason why everybody leaves Ohio.
In reality, there is some fog in Ohio,
There
but
is.
not like every day.
Not quite that.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to get into the cast.
Do it.
Rachel was Naomi Watts. I've said her name like 10 times this movie.
Yes.
I didn't hear you the first time. What was it?
Wadi Naomi.
Okay, got you now.
She's in
Loud and clear.
She's in King Kong.
Yes.
Yep.
And Birdman, which I really want to rewatch. Birdman. Apparently, it's done like 1917, where it's a single clip looking feel.
Yeah.
Noah was played by Martin Henderson. And Tim, how well do you remember the movie Smokin' Aces?
Yeah, very well.
He's in it. I don't know who. But...
Yeah.
And he's also a recurring character in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, okay.
That's where he's getting all his money.
Yeah, probably.
Aiden is David Dorman.
Creepy kid.
Creepy kid. Creepy kid.
Does he keep being a creepy kid?
He's
later
in
on?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Ah, there you go. I mean, I thought he was a very good creepy child.
I hated him.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's also in Ring 2. Oh, shocker.
Weird how that works.
And then the final actor I wrote down was Richard Morgan, who was played by Brian Cox.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I swear if you guys say shenanigans one more time, I'll pistol whip you.
One more time.
Hey, Barbara!
Barbara! What's that place you like to go to?
I was thinking that...
He was King Agamemnon in Troy?
No, but he is, now that you say that. I was thinking he's in the new show Succession that I've been wanting to watch. He's like the patriarch, it seems like.
Yeah. I like Brian Cox. I used to mix him up a lot with... who is it? The guy from Dodgeball. Like, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Oh, really?
I mixed him up. I don't know why. I know they're not the same guy. But
right.
Well, and the girl that dies in the first scene is from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
You know what? I've never seen that. And I don't know if I ever want to.
Well, I just recognized her.
Anyhow. So, the director is Gore Verbinski.
Okay.
You're like, that's a name I would recognize if I've seen it on a movie before.
Sure.
Yeah, he did Pirates 1, 2, and 3.
Oh.
And Rango.
Wow. Look at him go.
Rango.
Rango.
And he did the Johnny Depp film, Cowboy Indian.
The Lone Ranger?
The Lone Ranger. He really likes Johnny Depp.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
who doesn't?
But yeah, him working with Zimmer makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
But he also stated that he despises making horror films.
Really?
Because he's like, I get kind of depressed.
Well, this is depressing as fuck.
You got to get into somebody's psychological thing to, like, their psyche to try and figure out, how can I scare them? He doesn't enjoy doing that.
Yeah, well, he did a good job.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did a good job.
But Gore Verbinski.
Wow.
Verbinski. I don't know. I'm probably saying it wrong. It's a ski, though. He's a pretty solid director.
Yeah.
Got all under his belt.
Good job.
Now, little fun facts about this movie.
Okay.
The DVD has the Ring video on it. So in the special features, you can watch it all blown up on your screen.
Nice.
It gets better. You lose all control of your screen. You cannot fast forward. You cannot skip. You cannot go back to menu.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay, it gets better and more frightening. Afterwards, it lands you back on the special features menu.
Okay.
You still don't have control until it rings. It does 2 phone rings.
Oh, so good. See, we used to be so much more creative with DVDs. Now there's just DVDs.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then it was in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Canada and the United States had select theaters with the DVD, not the DVD, with the VHS just sitting on some of the chairs in the theaters that people could take home with them.
That's amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, we don't do stuff like that at all anymore.
What the heck?
So, and then, Tim, I'm sure you didn't see the trailer for this, at least in the last 17 to 18 years.
Yeah, not recently. I'm sure I watched it back in the day. But...
Before they released the original trailer, they just released the video.
With the static fuzz and all that?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, when they did that, they didn't say the name of it at all. They just released this creepy video as a commercial.
Wow.
And then a week later, the trailer came out.
Well, this is why it did so well.
Yes.
They really
some weird marketing.
They did a lot behind it. Like, they really sold the story.
Yes, they did.
This is also why it was so creepy.
But yeah, so that's all I got for it, Sam. Any last remarks before we flip it on or off?
Nope.
Tim?
No, I think we covered it.
All right, so we'll start with Tim. Would you flip this on?
Flip it on.
Sam?
Every time, 100%.
Do you want to let him explain why he says that, or you're just going to let him flip it on?
Tim, let's hear.
I don't think I need to explain.
I think he clearly was a fan of the film.
Yeah, I think it's a great horror movie. I think from my expectations, I mean, it just flat out, it's good. Like, if you're looking for an actual good horror movie that will give you goosebumps, watch it.
Nice.
Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I would flip it on. I think parts of it are still creepy and but parts of it still aren't, which is good. Like, as an adult, you can kind of reason it away, which is good. But especially now that we've done this podcast and we really delved into the whole family issues. Like, there's a lot going on in this movie, you know? Like, it's not just your typical, like, oh, there's a demented child.
There's a guy with a chainsaw chasing everybody.
Yeah. And then, especially your little fast facts, like, I love how they really sold it back in the day. That makes it amazing. Yeah. So definitely flip it on. What about you?
No.
Classic Adam.
Classic Adam. I saved chance to almost all films.
I know. But why would you flip it on?
I just don't really care for horror movies. They don't bring me as much joy.
That's fair.
I'm not going to sit... Yeah, I know. I've gone into this already.
Look at it is that you're flipping it on. Like, just because you didn't enjoy it doesn't mean it's not a good horror movie.
Well, I'll agree that it's a good horror movie, but I still would not flip it on personally.
Okay. That's fine.
Personally, yeah, I get that. But if somebody was looking for a horror movie...
I would say it is a good horror movie.
But you're not
so they would tell them to flip it on.
No, I probably wouldn't. I've been like, there are new ones that'll scare you more.
Okay. We'll let you be our naysayer. Because I'm sure there are people...
I will fight you guys on your naysayers.
Yeah.
No, that's why I said I'll let you be the... I don't know why you're getting personal. I said we'll let you be the naysayer because I'm sure there are people that saw this back in the day and thought it were stupid then, and they still probably think it's stupid now. Yeah.
That's why it got like 7.1 and stuff. Like, yeah, obviously.
So 50% of the people didn't like it.
Yeah, so we'll throw you in with the naysayers.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. 52% of us didn't like it.
Oh my gosh, whatever. All right, so who's up? Tim's up?
Timothy is up. Let me get that spinner.
Tim, what category are you hoping for? Box office bust, right?
Box office bust.
Sure, because it didn't have that last time.
We definitely
haven't had that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Sam. Do the honor of clicking the button.
Click the button.
Oh!
Yay! We finally got a category we haven't gotten. We got classics.
What is it?
Classics. So, like, ones that have been good and they stand the test of time, like Casablanca or Saving Private Ryan is a classic, I feel like, to some people.
Yeah. That did not stand the test of time.
I don't think Anaconda
It didn't even get past a year. And then, what's the old country movie? Not country,
No
Western.
Country for Old Men?
Yeah, that one. True Grit. It's a classic.
So you guys get the idea.
Star Wars. Yeah. Classics. The original.
Technically speaking, yeah, I think so.
They are. The Shining is a classic.
Ooh, it's Alien Day. You should pick Alien. I'm just kidding.
It is Alien Day.
It is Alien Day.
For us when we're recording and definitely not when we're releasing.
Well, I'm just saying. Catch us on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are available. We're also out into the social media channels, Twitter and Instagram, at FlipperFlix. We didn't tell you to give us anything this week, so just tell us what you think about The Ring if you find us.
Yeah.
Because we really liked it, except for Adam. And, tune in next week to see which
old movie Tim wants to watch.
Which old, amazing movie Tim wants to watch.
Woo!